Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful stitch. Now it comes out really beautiful. It's quick to make as well, and it's quite a nice thick stitch. You can do this with any yarn at all. This is called a tight weave crochet stitch. Some people call it the rice stitch. I don't know why it would be called a rice stitch. I don't think it looks very much like rice at all. It's also known as a single basket weave. It's got quite a few. It depends on what country you're in for the stitch name of it. And I've made this little blanket. You can use any stitch count for this, and look at this, it's beautiful. It really is. And I'm working on this one. Look at this one in the lemon. It comes out beautiful in any colour of stitch. It comes right out onto its own in a darker colour stitch like this. And this blanket is made with this yarn. So I used this yarn. It's called Heat Wave and it's by Red Heart, and I got that donated to me in one of my and I got this donated to me from one of my subscribers. It's beautiful. This one, I kept the label. This one is, the colour is seaweed, but it's a beautiful shade of green. It really is. And it's a beautiful stitch. So easy to do as well. Now, when I finished the blanket, I just did 2 rows of treble crochet to finish the top of my blanket. And down the sides, I put a 5 treble crochet little fan into every second stitch. So what I did was I skipped a stitch, put a fan in, I skipped a stitch and put a double crochet in, skip one, do a fan, skip one, double crochet, skip one, do a fan. That's what I did all down the side of the blanket, and I used the stitch, the edge stitch, to do that with. You can put any edge on the blanket that you like. I think it looks nice with that little fan. You could even add more fans onto it another round if you want. It's up to you. There's lots of different patterns out there for borders. So I'm going to show you how to do this tight weave stitch. If you're looking for a quick blanket that's nice and cozy and warm, then this is the stitch for you. So I'm going to use this Cairn Simply Soft, and this colour is Sunshine. It's a beautiful lemon. It's really, really pretty. Now I'm going to pop that up there. You use the size hook that it tells you on your yarn. Now I'm using a 5.5mm hook, and that is an I5 if you're in the USA. And I've got a different hook. Look at this. This is a hook that my friend Claire sent me a packet of hooks because I've got arthritis. She thought these would be much better for me to hold. They've got silicone casings on them, and it's a really comfortable grip. It really is. It's better than just the metal crochet hook, which I do. It's taken me a day or so to get used to the thicker hook. But I would like one of those ones that are shaped like this. I have tried those strange shaped ones, but the ones I got they were quite scratchy. There is agromanic, like it's shaped to the shape of your hand for holding. But the ones I got were just a little bit too cheap, and they weren't very nice. So my friend Claire sent me these ones to try, and they're really quite comfortable. So to do this stitch, you need any stitch count. So any stitch count at all. And I'm just going to start off with a little slip knot on my hook. You just tie your yarn onto your hook the way that you normally would. I'm going to do a chain. Do your chain quite slack. Don't do it too tight. If you do your chain too tight, it's going to pull your blanket in an arc, and you don't want that, especially on this type of blanket. So just crochet any number of stitches that you want for the width of your blanket. So just carry on and do a chain. Chain done. So you just do the chain to the length that you want your blanket to be. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to do one row of double crochet. If you're in the USA, that's single crochet. So I'm just going to go into the second stitch in my chain and go right through, pull my yarn through, yarn over and pull through. We're going to do that into every stitch. So we're going to go into every stitch and do a double crochet, a UK double crochet, all the way along. So I'm down to my last stitch, right on the end, my hook through, pull through. So you've got your little foundation row of UK double crochet. If you're in the USA, that's a single crochet. So what you're going to do now is you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now this next row is the row that you're going to keep repeating again and again and again. It's only a 1 row repeat and it's really easy. Now we're going to do a UK treble crochet. If you're in the USA, this is a double crochet, and we're going to do what's called around the post. Now can you see those little chubby parts of the stitch, and there's a hole at either side? We're going around those little posts. Once you've done this foundation row, the next rows will be much easier to handle, and this blanket is really quick. It crochets up beautiful. This is the top of it, so it crochets up really pretty like this. And this is my bottom row down here. Now my little double crochet row is down here, and we're going around the posts, around these parts of the blanket, and this is a beautiful stitch. So yarn over, and you're going through the stitch and through the back, right through the back like this. You put your yarn over and you're going to pull through. Yarn over, come through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2 loops. Now the reason we only done 2 here at the beginning, when you go around the post it shortens that stitch. If you do 3, you'll end up with loops all up the edge of your blanket, and you don't want that. So this one, the stitch is on the front, so now we're going to yarn over and we're going to come in from the back and go around the front like that. Pull your yarn through, yarn over through 2 loops and through 2 loops. So now you've got one stitch to the front and the other one is to the pull to the back. This is what we're going to keep repeating. So that was a back loop. Now we're going to do a front loop. So yarn over and we're going to pull that post to the front of our hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over, and now go behind. So you're going through the space at either side of that post, push it through and pull through and finish your stitch. Yarn over. Now when you're holding this, it'll kind of go off to the side like this. Make sure you don't go around that stitch again or you're going to end up increasing. Just do that every now and then and make sure they're still in line. So we're going to this next stitch. So that one is to the back, so the next one will be to the front. So through, work the post around that way to the front, your yarn over, now come through the back, just come through the gap at either side of your post, pull through and finish your stitch. Yarn over, through that hole and through that hole. Yarn over, now the back, so it's the back, crochet from the back, crochet from the front. So we're going to crochet at the front, stitches on the front of our hook. So yarn over and we're coming through the back. So the stitch is on the back of your hook. That's why they're called front post and back post stitches. So there's your two spaces. So yarn over through that space and weave it back through that one. Yarn over. Now we're coming from the back and then weave to the front. Make sure you get two parts of your stitch. Pull through, yarn over. We're doing the front one, yarn over, come from the back. This very first row is a little bit fiddly, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes easy. So from the back, through the space, and weave through, pull your yarn through, yarn over, around the post at the front, and then the back, and then the front, and then through the back. Just keep it in line. Just make sure that you're not doing a stitch twice. And this is how it's looking. You've got every other one is to the front, and on the back every other one is here at the back. That one's away at the back, that one's forward, back and forward, and the same here. So we've done a back post, now we need to do it round the front and the back all the way along. So you're alternating between your front post and your back post stitch. And through the back. And then down through the front. Have that stitch to the front. And the back. Pull it through. And the front. So your last stitch, we're just going to do a treble crochet into that last space. Do one treble crochet into that space. Might be a little tight. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2 and turn. It'll always be chain 2. Now you can see that stitch is pushed to the back. This one is at the front, then it goes to the back. So now what we have to do, this becomes your front post stitch. Forget that one, leave that one alone. So yarn over and do your front post. Bring that post to the front of your hook and finish the stitch. Yarn over. Now just pull it out there a bit. You can clearly see where you're going now. The holes are a little bit bigger. So in there and around there like that. Grab your yarn and pull it through. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to alternate this back post and front post stitch. So back post, because your post is at the back. This one is at the back, so we need to bring it to the front. So around there, bring it near to the front. And then a back post. So you're alternating the stitch. I'm trying to get it so that we can see. So that one's at the back. We've done that one there. So yarn over and we're doing a front post. So this one is sitting proud to the front, so we're going around the back of it. Pull the stitch to the back and through. Now a front, and then a back post. So all the ones that are towards the front, you're going to pull them to the back, and all the ones that are sitting at the back, you're going to pull them to the front. So that one's on the front, so we're doing a back stitch. And then a front, all the way to the end. Just alternate back post stitch and front post stitch. And if you go wrong, you'll clearly see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately make a mistake. So we'll deliberately do another back post. And look at that, you can see right away that we've done a mistake. We've got 2 stitches sitting to the back and we've got 2 right beside each other. So you can see if you do a mistake. So that we've worked that one, and that one's sitting to the back, so we need to bring that one to the front. Easy peasy. And it makes a beautiful stitch when it's done. Now it doesn't look much when you first start it. When you first start it, it doesn't look much, but keep going. So I've got one front to do. It's tucked in there. Now you'll notice it does hide, so make sure you get that one around the front. Now this was a chain of 2 that we done. So into the second stitch, 1, 2, do a treble crochet. At the end, you'll always just do a treble crochet into the top of the chain of 2. And it keeps your blanket straight, because when you do your stitch, it makes it shorter going around that post. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2 and turn. So my first stitch is sitting at the back, so I'm going to yarn over and bring it to the front. And then you yarn over and work to the back. So it'll be front, back, front, back. So this one is to get brought to the front. And the next one just around the post to the back. And you're working around that post, that straight part there. So we're going like that. Pull your yarn through. And the next one, it's sitting at the front, but we need to make it to go to the back now. So through that hole, through the hole beside it, and that's it there at the back. And then that loop that we've just done pulls that stitch to the back, and it does this. And that's what you're going to repeat. You're going to repeat your front post, your back post. At the end, you'll do, so once you get to the end, you'll just chain 2 and turn and start again. And that's what you do. So I'm going to do a few more rows and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So this is what my little sample's looking like. And you can clearly see that pretty you can clearly see that pretty pattern. I'm sorry about the light changing. It's raining outside. So 1 minute it's bright and the next minute it's pouring with rain. So this is what we're getting on that pattern. It's really pretty. And it's all you do. You'll just chain 2 and turn, and then that stitch, just ignore that one. So that one's to the back. So you'll just yarn over and pull that one to the front like that. And you can put any border onto this blanket that you like. as well. It's up to you. You don't even need to put a border on it. You can just stitch on some lace if you want. And that is what you'll continue to do. You get a nice straight edge up your blanket just by doing the 2 chain. Now remember, it's 2 chain and turn, don't do 3, and this is what your little blanket will look like. I'll pop that to the side. So what I did to the top, once I finished my last row, I did my shell. I did 5 UK treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that's a double crochet. I skipped one space in the blanket. Then I did a double crochet. I skipped one more space and then I did my fan. I did that all the way around. So when I got round the corner, I just put 8 around the corner to bring me around, and I just continued along. Just space out your fans. Skip a stitch, put a double crochet in to bring your fan down. Skip a stitch and then do your next one. And I've done 5 UK treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that's 5 double crochets. Once I got around the 3 sides, I got back up to this end and then I put 2 rows of treble crochet on the top. So I did my fans first. Once I finished that last row here, I did my fan. I worked all the way around and then I put the 2 rows of treble crochets, one into every stitch, and that made the top the same as this bottom part, and it's really pretty. Look at that. And it's a beautiful stitch. You can use any yarn that you want. Look at that, it's so nice. If you use thin yarn, you can still use a big hook. This is a 5.5 hook. I would have got away with doing this in a size 6 hook. It is quite a dense stitch as well. It turns out quite thick. So if you want a lighter, airier blanket, if you want it to be a lot lighter, then use a bigger hook. Go up a size and a half. I would go up to like a 6.5 if you want it much if you want it much lighter. So give this a try. It's a wonderful easy stitch, especially for a beginner. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Just click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So thank you very much for watching. Until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.